Hi, my name's Rhys and this is my 38-foot steel boat called Zora. I've had it for just over a year. We've been refitting her ever since. The last couple of months we spent doing out some of the interior work, and in the last couple of weeks we've been doing the electrical conduit. We're on a big push now to get the insulation done, so I've been trying to get the interior sections built. So in this week's episode we're going to push on with some more of that conduit stuff and try and get that job done. So let's get going. So in last week's episode we ran some of the conduit in the walls. So basically this will carry our 12 volt and some of our 240 volt wiring around the boat. And the reason I put the conduit in is so that I can carry my wiring within the walls and I can pull some more through in the future easily. It's really hard if the wiring is kind of thrown in behind the cladding, that it's very hard to put wiring in the future. So hopefully this will make things a little bit easier down the line. A few of you very correctly commented that the more conduit that you can put in, the better. I'm a little bit limited with space. I don't want to drill too many holes in the stringers, but down the line, if we find that we do need to put more conduit in, I'm going to run it through the cabinetry, especially around the 240 volt systems that everyone's mentioned, to put as much conduit in as possible. So that is the ultimate goal. Now, to make it a little bit easier in future, what I want to do is run some mouse lines in this conduit. Now, a mouse line will help you basically pull through wiring in the future, pull more wiring through. So we're going to put that mouse line in before the insulation is in. So I'm waiting for a couple of guys to come give me a hand with that. And while I wait for them, I'm going to get cracking with more of the interior structure for the insulation. So I'll get cracking on that and we'll get back to this later.
He's useless. Yeah, what we said to him. Oh yeah. Did on. I was watching what's his name this morning, actually, Doug. I've got another two.
I'm Jeff, and I slide away for Rhys. He has me running homemade mouse lines through the conduit, so we can run the lines through from the buzz bar out to his junctions. We were having a bit of trouble getting the line through, so we tied a knot on a bolt and we used the hoover to pull it through.
Back home. My first experience taking to the air was 6 years ago. Spain, of course, we found that, and of course, the
So I'm up the back of the boat. So this is the port side, which will be my workshop. So there's going to be a bench out here around that height, just high enough so that when I'm standing in here I can work away. Then the back where I am here is going to be there'll be a diesel tank here, probably a black water tank for the heads, so my holding tank. Then this will be kind of boxed off as another kind of bench area. And then this will double as a bunk, so if I've got people coming to stay, I can double this as a bunk. I can just like flip the vice upside down and put a mattress there. So a vast majority of this aft section will be storage slash work area. I want to keep the access that I have to the engine, so I don't want to box this all in and then like lose all my access to the engine. I want to be able to work on the engine while I'm in my workshop. So that was one of the main considerations for me. I've got most of my interior structure now where everything screws to, so I'll have my panelling screwed onto these vertical frames, and then I'll be able to put my nice bit of panelling on there and then build off of that. So build a frame and then I'll build my bench. I need to have access to the bolts obviously for the winches. There'll be another winch here as well. So once the panelling's in, I need to make sure that I can take the top of that off and get to my bolts. Yeah, so things are progressing quite well in the back here. I'm kind of starting to visualise it a bit more. It's kind of an area that I hadn't thought about much, but yeah. So you see I'm kind of jammed up in here. You can see why this actually used to be a bedroom, but because of the cockpit was rearranged and the design of the cockpit was rearranged, it was moved back. It just means that this area wasn't suitable for a bedroom. I mean, it would have made sense for more room as a liveaboard, but as a cruising boat, it's actually far better to have this this cockpit the size that it is. I also need to make sure that I have full access to my steering cables and to my quadrant. I do have an emergency tiller, but I want to be able to get down here quickly if things go wrong and take a look at why these cables might not be working. So I also need to be able to check out the diesel tank once a month or so, because you can get something called diesel bug, or you can get condensation of the diesel tank. So that's something you need to make sure that you can do, is get to the tanks. So yeah, we're trucking along. So the design of the floor is going to be probably a welded frame with full access to that bilge area there. Probably going to drill a hole through so that it all drains into the engine room. So if there's any water in here, it'll flow straight into the engine room. It's a little bit dirty back here at the moment, but I'm going to probably do the spray foam back to around this kind of area here. Maybe stop it on this frame. I probably won't need insulation back here, but worst case, if I do down the line, I can stick some foam boards. It's not as critical back here for the insulation to be perfect. The dividing wall that I put here, so there'll be a dividing wall going here, which will be backed with insulation, so I'll be able to keep any differences in heat or in temperature in the boat between the two of them insulated. One cool thing actually that I noticed, or I kind of only really thought about yesterday, was there's been no leaks at all since I launched the boat. Not one. Not through the head, not through the deck, not through the bottom side of the boat. The PSS bearing didn't leak. The rudder stock didn't leak. Like, we did a really good job of sealing this boat up before we launched it. So that's just something to cheer ourselves about. So this aft section is pretty much ready for installation now. I'm going to move on to the starboard side. I've put one line of conduit that comes all the way around, and it'll carry up to a junction box here, and it'll carry a lot of my 12-volt stuff. I'm probably going to put a second one in just to be sure. So there's a little bit of work left to do in that, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that's gone. Right, I'm going to get stuck in there again. So we did it. We got over 10,000 subscribers, which blows my mind. The fact that there are 10,000 people all over the world that tune in to watch the videos, it's hard to imagine that 10,000 people watch them, which is, it's unreal. I really, really appreciate it. I think there's about 400 or 500 of you that were here in the really early days. You may remember when we had Frantic, my old boat, and we were pottering around down in West Cork with a GoPro, basically just fumbling around doing little jobs and trying to get the boat in the water. And that was really the start of this whole dream, you know, getting a big boat and going off sailing. And that little boat really kicked it off for me, and the videos and everything. It opened a whole new world to me. So if you have been here since Frantic, leave a comment down there. I know a few of you by name, so make sure that you comment down below and let us know how long you've been here. And then moving on from Frantic, we had the van, and we did little van vlogs. I think I did about 6 van vlogs when we were living in that Transit Connect to save up for this boat. And we made little videos about that, and doing some small jobs in the van, and how I lived in it and stuff like that. So I think there were a little bit more than maybe 1,000 of you who watched those. We didn't quite break the 1,000 mark with the van videos, but comment down below if you were watching the van videos. And then obviously about a year ago I bought this girl, and ever since I've been making videos about this and this project, and for some reason 9,000 more people came along to watch it. So it's been fantastic. I really appreciate it. I'm going to wrap this video up again. So everyone who's watched the videos, who's commented, who's subscribed, who's shared the videos, who's plugged on Patreon, on PayPal, guys, every single one of you has been a part of this project, and obviously the people who come down to help as well have put a hand on the boat. I really appreciate every single minute of everyone's time. It's just, this project has been more than I could have ever imagined. And when we were walking down around in West Cork in that boatyard a year ago, and myself and Niamh were looking up at the boat thinking, you know, this could be it. So honestly, it's been an amazing year, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So with that, I'm going to end this video, and I'll get another video out next week. And I really appreciate the guys who helped me here today, Leighton, Simon, Jeff. We got the Conduit fish wires in, we got some windows bolted up. Things are progressing really well, and before we know it, the boat's going to be insulated, and I'm going to start cladding all the interior with timber. So guys, this next few months are going to be really cool. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Thanks.